Director is directed to investigate allegations of illegal mining activities by named individuals. I write to direct your esteemed office to initiate investigations into suspected illegal mining activities being perpetrated by certain individuals within mining districts in the country. The directive is born out of growing public concern and also corroborated by media reports and intelligence regarding the involvement of some citizens in unauthorized mining operations, generally called Galamsey, that are in blatant contravention of the provisions of the Minerals and Mining Act 2006, Act 703, as amended by Act 995. These activities not only flout our mining regulations, but also gravely endanger our water bodies, forest reserves, and local livelihoods. As your office is aware, His Excellency the President has consistently reiterated his government's firm commitment to eradicating illegal mining and restoring sanity to the natural resource governance regime in Ghana. In line with this national stance and pursuant to your mandate under IOCO Act 2010, Act 804, I'm directing your office to invite the following persons named in recent credible reports for interrogation, namely Mr. Yakubu Abanga and Mr. Joseph Yamin. Additionally, you are to investigate any other persons found to be complicit in these unlawful mining activities. The scope of this investigation should include the matters highlighted in the Professor Frimpong Boateng's report on illegal mining. Furthermore, considering the regulatory oversight role of the Minerals Commission, you may invite the Chief Executive Officer of the Commission to assist in investigations. I trust that IOCO will treat this matter with the urgency and gravity it deserves in order to uphold the rule of law and ensure the integrity of our extractive governance framework. Yours in the service of the Republic, Dr. Dominic Akuritinga Ayene, his Member of Parliament, is also the Attorney General Minister for Justice. So this is what he wrote. Helen, you may want to help us. The top officials that were named in that very widely published and controversial Kwabena Frimpong Boateng report,
right, which
was leaked 2 years after it had been submitted to the president at the time. What are these key officials?
All right, so let's start with Gabi Asare Otre Darko, and we know him as a lawyer. And what allegations have been leveled against him in this report? Well, we're told that he defended Heritage Imperial Limited, accused of large-scale environmental destruction, and interfered with anti-Galamsey enforcement. And by defended, I believe he was a lawyer to Heritage.
That's right.
That's right. All right. Let's go on to Sir John, now deceased, former CEO, Forestry Commission. What allegations were leveled against him? Well, we're told he gave permits for illegal mining in protected forest reserves and enabled Chinese operators.
We also do know that there's Joseph Albert Kwam. Yeah,
okay.
Tell me about him.
Former MP, board member, Minerals Commission. And we're told he acquired multiple concessions and sold them unlawfully, extorted funds, and we're told he lost his seat over public outreach. I'm sticking with this former MP very quickly. I recall at the time that this had blown up.
He responded.
He did respond.
That's right.
He was on key points, and he vehemently said, this is community mining that he's engaged in. If you read the report, we're told that allegedly he acquired these concessions under community mining schemes and then later sold them on for some 200,000, I believe, US dollars per concession. Maybe cities will find that out. We also have Eko Ewusi, former NPP vice chairman in the Central Region. What are the allegations against him? Well, we're told he sold seized excavators, was involved in extortion, illegal mining, as well as money laundering. Okay, finally, I believe we have Kojo Opo Nkrumah, or one more after this actually, former Minister for Information, and he is alleged to have orchestrated media attacks to discredit anti-Galamsey advocate Professor Frimpong Boateng. And then last on the list, we have former Senior Minister Yao Osafo Mafo. We're told he defended Eko Ewusi despite evidence and allegedly also undermined anti-Galamsey efforts.
Interesting. There's more.
Oh, okay. There is more. It doesn't end. Donald Enchia, co-owner Heritage Imperial Limited, were told that they operated destructive illegal mining in forest reserves with military protection. You recall that Heritage also was, when we say defended, represented by Gabi Otre Darko.
So We know that the AG's office has also been doing its own analysis on the Professor Kwabena Frimpong report. Says after a careful study of the report, the various documents and pen drives submitted to the police, we do not find any evidence in support of all the allegations made against the person cited in the report, with the exception of Seth Mante, John Oforiata, and Eko Ewusi. I'm sure you remember Eko Ewusi in that famous Party in Yasika video with Professor Kwabena Frimpong about the secret recording. So these are the three people that, in the wisdom of the Attorney General, have some questions to respond. Have some questions to respond to. Then Attorney General, that's Godfred Yeboah-Dame at the time. Now, the professor refused to provide any further information to the police. He also declined to give a written statement claiming his report is an embodiment of his statement and all the information he has on the allegations. That's according to the Attorney General at the time, Godfred Yeboah-Dame, in 2023. That's October 2023. Investigations by the police have not revealed any evidence in support of the allegations that Professor Kwabena Frimpong at the time had, highlighted. It also on record that several attempts by the police to obtain further information from Professor Kwabena Frimpong to substantiate the allegations made in the report and assist them in conducting further investigations proved futile. So this is what we know. Also, to pad it up, the allegations are therefore do not provide a basis for any criminal charge against persons cited in the report. Well, this new Attorney General, Dr. Dominic Ayine, seems to disagree with Godfred Yeboah-Dame because he is asking IOCO to open fresh investigations into the matter, particularly following the Abanga and Yamin conversation, which was blasted full-blown on the front pages of some newspapers, I think on Monday or on Tuesday.
That's right.
Right, and then subsequently the uproar by some persons, within the opposition MPP who were asking critical questions about their involvement in some Galamsey activities. The AG says, okay, let IOCO investigate so that if there's anything to pay attention to, they clearly would be paying attention to those things, which I think is very fair.
Indeed.
But he's asking for the Frimpong report to also be looked at. And then significantly, he's also asking that because the Minerals Commission is in the heart or at the heart of all these conversations, the boss of Minerals Commission, Lawyer EC, should also perhaps be invited to provide some answers, which I think is fair, because in all the back and forth, we have not seen Mr. EC, who sits atop the office that grants licenses and mining licenses and authorization to people to get either into a forest reserve or into a mining area to get a concession. I have not really seen him answer questions, as posed by a state institution investigating. It's always been from one media engagement to the other. But now IOCO is going to get involved if IOCO follows the direction of the Attorney General and invites him, then we will be making some headway, I think, Helen.
That's what I agree. We've heard the president in very recent times say that this is an emergency. There's no other way to look at what is happening with the Galamsey menace. In fact, there was a headline yesterday that caught my attention. Maybe it was on 3news.com. The president directing that persons who are impersonating anti-Galamsey task force be arrested. And so I thought, is this how far this issue has gone, that you've got individuals who are actually impersonating the task force with uniforms, trying to, camouflage their activities? We are in a different realm and territory at this point in time. The situation is very serious. I'm asking that this Frimpong or Professor Frimpong report be unearthed and brought back into the spotlight, I think is very key. For me, I know it's many others join in this sentiment that a lot of time has passed.
Right.
What becomes of the evidence? Has too much time passed that some of the evidence is going to be lost?
Crime does not expire.
But what about the evidence? People would have had time to maybe put things that were not once in order in order. Have we lost valuable time?
Criminal investigators always have a way of reconstructing the crime scene. They have a way. I mean, if genocide happens somewhere, they know how to reconstruct it, to try and look at different scenarios that could possibly, may have led to whatever crime was committed. And in most of the cases, about 75% of the time, they are successful in those, the reconstruction of those crime scenes and, who to hold for what offense. So, to the extent that we have not been able to reclaim most of the land that were destroyed by the activities of these illegal miners, if at all, it's also a point that you can go back to, for example, Google images and those images those footages that were taken with the drones back in the day, right? And then pay attention to what the vegetative cover looked at the time, and mirror it to what it looks like now, and backtrack. And there's always a way to go about these things, and I'm sure the experts know their way around it.
I hope that the time or passage of time will not distort these investigations. Maybe people have gone to regularize what was not regular. That's my fear.
Nana Yaosei Dakwa is joining us in studio. He is the founding president of the Green Republic Project. We will also engage with some other persons. But first, listen to ex-President Akufo-Addo on Akunta mining.
Let me respond briefly to the chairperson on the issue of illegal mining. I want to assure him and all of you that Akunta mining is not engaged in any illegal mining anywhere in Ghana as we speak. Further, the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources has, through the agency of the Forestry Commission, with the assistance of the military, made the effort to cordon off all 294 sites of forest reserves in the country and rid them of illegal mining as we speak. We will continue to work to ensure that this situation remains permanent. This government is determined to win the fight against Galamsey, no matter the cost in effort.
The conversation. Let me say thank you to the General Agricultural Workers Union of the TUC ICO chapter. Thanks for the honor. Let's get into some Galamsey conversations. 25 minutes after 8, Nana Yaosei Dakwa is joining me. He is the founding president of the Green Republic Project. Nana, good morning. Thank you for your time.
Good morning, my brother.
Great. Good to have you here. How's the Green Republic doing, though?
Oh, we're good. Doing what we do as usual, trying to plant, a lot of trees as a natural remedy to the climate crisis. I mean, that's our core mandate, and that is what we're focusing on all these years.
The conversation about Galamsey, it never seems to get away, and we appear not to have our hands wrapped around it. We seem helpless most of the time. Yeah, directive here, directive there, policy here, policy there, conference here. But it all comes back again to ground zero and point naught. What are we doing right, or what are we doing wrong, rather, which is why we find ourselves in this situation?
It's a bit unfortunate, I think that as a country, we've not shown, the level of seriousness that we need to show, regarding this Galamsey fight. How many years have we been discussing this issue? It's close to 15, 20 years.
Right.
The whole of the 8 years of the NPP regime, the party that just left power. We've been talking about this Galamsey fight.
Right.
Even before then, in
President
His Excellency, President Mohammed's first term, it was a subject of discussion, widely discussed, various, sectors of our society, come up with brilliant ideas, civil society. There's some inertia. It's like, there's a fatigue,
right.
Discussing these things back and forth. I think what we need to do as a people is to be very, very direct and straight, with what we want to do, and not just dance around the issues. Because if we look at the report, and the people who have been, mentioned in those reports, you see some gaps and lapses. For instance, there is one of the gentlemen who is reported to have been doing this with the aid of the military, under the protection of the military. And yet, out of the people who have been questioned or are supposed to go through the IOCO, investigations, I do not see, any point where the military has not also been mentioned, to respond to these allegations of aiding perpetrators of this crime, to do Galamsey. So the military, in my view, must also have a question to answer somehow, because it's pointed out there clearly that he did what he did under military protection. And that brings into sharp focus. We lost a hard-working young professional, Major Mahama, and all these things were embroidered in some Galamsey issues here and there. So as a country, I think that we really need to get very, very serious with this campaign to stop it. Because Galamsey is not just an issue of environmental destruction. It's a major health crisis. And I think that as a people, if we are going to, commission health experts, to delve deep into the effects of what is going on, I'm sure that we'll be amazed at the kind of reports that will be generated. And so we need to really, really, really get serious with this fight. And I think that it's a step in the right direction. The minister, calling on the IOCO to undertake.
Will it change anything?
It depends on how they go about it. People have lost confidence in the system, regarding the Battle of Galamsey, because we keep hearing this it's become like a slogan, more or less. We talk about it, almost every media house talks about this Galamsey, issue. We have committees, we call on, we organize forums, seminars here and there, and yet it does not seem to minimize. Every now and then, we have these discussions going on and getting worse. So it can be very, very frustrating if you ask me.
Professor Kwabena Frimpong named at least 21 persons. He named an unnamed senior figure. He put mining and forestry regulators together, media figures, security personnel, business operators, government and party officials. It clearly tells you that this cuts across. So media is involved at some point, security personnel, businessmen, government party officials, regulators, forestry commission people, and then senior figures in society. That raises questions that, look, even the people who we mandate to go and fight this may probably be more involved in it than we think. Do you see the same picture? Yeah,
it's a cartel. It does not take one person to do this kind of carnage on our environment and all that. These are well-organized groups, who always have people within the political space, in the security apparatus, in the media, to champion their cause, to defend when the need arises. And that is how come, as a people, we need to really, really, really keep our fingers on this fight and ensure that we punish people who are engaged in these things. I mean, we always hear names. Currently, Honorable Yamin's name and one Abanga has been mentioned.
That's right.
It's good that a sitting government is trying to investigate its own. But if you ask me, I think that even the timing, of trying to investigate at the point that the minister comes out to say we're going to investigate our own, Yamin and Abanga, then the Frimpong one also comes into focus. And for me, it kind of muddies, the space, because at the end of the day, we're going to have a situation where people are going to say, for instance, after the investigations, people mentioned in the Dr. Frimpong Boateng's report are found culpable. And then Yamin and Abanga are not found culpable. It will become a political, normal political game. And say, it's because Yamin and Abanga are NDC. That's why, they've been spared to go. Meanwhile, they might, sincerely have not committed any act. You get me?
I get you.
So we even the timing of merging both at the same time would lead to this same NDC MPP conversation, and then at the end of the day, we wouldn't even know where the chips will fall.
But if you look at the posture of the Attorney General now and the Attorney General then, we read excerpts of his own, understanding of what the issues were, what analysis they had done of the reports that Professor Kwabena Frimpong brought out, and to suggest that they did not find anything evidential enough against, almost all the people, save just 3 persons: Oforiata, Mante, and Eko Ewusi. Those are the 3 people that Godfrey Adami in 2023 said, look, these are the people I think, should going forward be dealt with or be investigated further and all of that. This new Attorney General says, no, start all over again. Because if Professor Frimpong had mentioned 1 unnamed figure, 2 forestry commission, forestry or mining regulators, 3 media figures, 3 security personnel, 4 business operators, and 8 government officials, there certainly is more to look into. Is Dominic Ayeni wasting his time with the Yoko?
No, I don't think he's wasting his time. As Attorney General, he owes the people of Ghana, these duties, and I think that it's a step in the right direction. He has done his bit. He's now directed it to the state agencies, responsible for these investigations, and I think he needs to be highly commended for that. The buck now stops with Yoko to come up, with investigations that would lead, to finding out who the perpetrators of these acts are, and to ensure that whoever is mentioned, whoever is found culpable, is dealt with according to the law.
Well, Mr. Fred Agbenyo is joining us. Is the MP for the good people of Santo Kofi Akpafulikpe and Lolobi. They didn't have an MP until recently, so he's the first MP of that constituency. But Helen, more names are emerging. If you look at the Professor Kwabena Frimpong report, let's look at the top officials who have been named again.
Yes.
And these will get into the domain of what government officials and party functionaries, right?
Indeed.
Let's hear them.
Let's take a look there. If you're watching us on Facebook, you can also run through the slides with us. We've got Charles Owusu, former Director of Operations, Forestry Commission.
Change is coming, popularly known as change is coming.
Change is coming. What are the allegations then leveled against change is coming? Well, we're told he claimed ownership of seized excavators in Bepot Tinting, allegedly involved in illegal mining with Chinese collaborators. We also have Protozwa Frank Isiedu Bekwing, former office of Chief of Staff.
So he used to work in the office at the office of the Chief of Staff.
Right.
And Professor Frimpong Boateng didn't mince words at all mentioning him.
The allegations are as follows. We're told he called a task force to release seized excavators and interfered with suspected, shall I say, wrongdoers.
Right.
We've got Lord Comey, Charles Niteko, former Jubilee House official. The allegations are as...
So that's actually, this is a photo of Charles Niteko Tego. That's not Lord Comey's photo, but Charles Niteko Tego was a presidential staffer.
So we've lumped these two together. The allegations are as follows. Accused of either engaging in or supporting illegal mining operations.
Right.
Then we've got Simon Aman, Canadian co-owner, CNJ Alaska. The allegations are same as before, implicated in illegal mining activities. No photo, though, to go along with that. You've got Kojo Ado, NPP chairman, Aguna East. What are the allegations? Well, allegedly assisted Ewusi in extortion as well as excavator sales. Let's move on to Seth Mante, Peace FM journalist. Allegations are as follows. Confessed to laundering money from excavator sales for Ewusi and John Ofori Atta. Now to John Ofori Atta, former Central Region National Security Coordinator. The allegations are that he's implicated in excavator sales and also money laundering through Seth Mante. Captain Koda, also on the list, presidential security detail. What is his alleged involvement? Well, we're told he called a task force to release excavators seized from Honorable George Kwame Abuaje's site. Then we have Honorable George Kwame Abuaje, MP for Asene Akroso Manso. The allegations are that excavators were used on polluted a site and they were traced back to him. His brother, Captain Koda, intervened in this particular instance. You've got youth organizer of the NPP in Chebi. So he's a local party official. It's alleged that he mined illegally near the president's residence, damaging part of his garden. And many of you might recall this. Journalists were sent, but actually didn't find what they were looking for. Was it a ruse? Did they go to the wrong location? You also have Kweku Bako, journalist and editor of the New Crusading Guide. The allegations are that he shielded Donald Insua. I hope I've said that right. Inchia and CNJ Alaska, and published false claims against Professor Frimpong Boating. Then we've got SK Boafo, board chairman, Minerals Commission.
As a former minister, former MP, SK Boafo.
That's right. Yeah. The allegations are that he sabotaged community mining events and also ordered cancellation of some site commissionings.
Take that again.
So sabotaged community mining events and also ordered the cancellation of site commissionings.
Interesting. Fred Agbenyo, MP. Does this come to you as a surprise that your Attorney General is now going to open wounds that the people of Ghana were almost forgetting about? He's now stripping the plaster off to tell us what is under the plaster.
My brother, good to see you. Good morning.
Good to see you too.
Good morning to actual viewers and my brother and my sister with a beautiful voice. It's good to be here. Sometimes you get fatigued discussing some of these subjects. Because you wonder what else we are going to profess. What is that we have not said before? I have said that the constitution that established the democracy that we are under today has given enormous power to the president and to state actors to be able to resolve and control whatever challenge that we have. At any point that we come across as a nation that we have failed or we are unable to combat a menace, it means we are becoming a failed state. I don't think that there is any force, there is any power, there is any individual who can elevate him or herself above the cohesive forces of the state.
Right.
You know, we agree as a nation that individually we can't protect ourselves, we can't take care of our natural resources.
Right.
And that is why we have come together and entrusted that authority in the hand of one person we call the president. And then we have asked him to select people he has confidence in, people he think that they can work with, and make sure that the things that Ghanaians are looking for are able to come to the fore. And so we cannot say we have failed. When you have the military, you have the Air Force, you have the Navy, you have the police, you have everything. You cannot say that a few people are more powerful that these institutions and agencies. It is either you don't have the political will to do it.
Right.
It's either you are involved yourself. It's either you are pretending you don't know what is going on. And that is why it is lingering on. And for me, that is my position on this subject. After that time with that number, I'm not going to change my mind today or tomorrow. When you go to a point in Nigeria where the military command in Nigeria cannot stand, the activities of Boko Haram, we all saw what happened in that country. And we don't want to see a repetition of same in our country. Ghana, I don't know, maybe God has been too kind to us and we don't sometimes appreciate it. Because not because we are doing anything too good as a people, but if you look at all the things that are happening around us, and we say have peace in this country, the least of the things you want to do is to close your eyes and empower any group of people who then can draw alliances from all this, conspiracy, how do I even call them? This terrorist groups around us. They leverage on the power we are giving them indirectly, and then they can take over this country before we all say, Jack, how do we in the country and people can enter? Like, sometimes it sounds funny, as if we are playing and joking with the whole thing. Why? A gentleman who lives in China, in Zhuangzhou state or whatever it is, knows that there is gold in a forest somewhere in Ghana called Tiwa Forest.
Right.
And the fellow now became a bird, flew into Ghana. He doesn't need a passport. He doesn't know to fly by any aircraft. He doesn't go to the airport. And this gentleman enters Ghana like a bird, move into the forest. The excavators are turned into handkerchiefs and they're in people's pockets. And so they don't make any noise. And this excavators enters into the forest and start mining. How does it happen? And so why are we all pretending? And what we have succeeded in doing all these many years is that these boys who are trying to work for survivor, who go to the side to go and risk their lives so they can also get their daily bread, they are the people we often parade and we throw into cells. And the kingpins, the big men, the big women, the people who are making the cash, are driving the big cars and sleeping in big houses, and we all know. And yet we pretend we don't know how to resolve the problem. So for me, Johnny...
Are you saying that the Attorney General is going about it the wrong way?
No, I'm not saying that. You see, it is easy to prosecute your political opponents.
Right.
You have nothing to lose.
Right.
You can close your eyes and just go and take the Frimpong Boateng's report and line up all the persons who were cited and do whatever you want to do.
But here's Abanga, here's Yamin.
So when you have a government...
Nana, for example, thinks that lumping them together at this time is not the way to go, because then it becomes political football instead of finding the real solution.
I think I associate myself that sentiment, that comment. You see, first of all, let me commend the Attorney General, let me commend the President. Actually, being very bold, being very courageous. We are not talking about just anybody in our party. You are talking about the national organizer of NDC.
Right.
You are talking about a vice chairman of the party. You wrote a letter to Iyoko or which institution and instructed them that based on the facts available to you, you think they are complicit in some wrongdoing as far as the illegal mining is concerned, and so invite them and investigate them, and then let us take them through the loss of the land. For me, that is very commendable. Anybody who is in NDC today who maybe operates from the regional level conference or to the branch will now sit back and say, listen, if they can hold a whole national organizer before an investigative body, if a whole vice chairman could be held before an investigative body, then who am I? And so that serves as some form of check, some deterrent. I don't want it to end at that level. If indeed investigation proves that they are involved in this wrongdoing, we should have the balls and the courage and the confidence to let them face the law squarely. Right? And so if I can take a cane and punish my own son or daughter in the house, and I will not blink my eyes in doing so, why should I blink my eyes when it's your son who is committing the wrong thing? And until and unless we take the politicking out of this conversation, we are not going to make any headway. It's about Ghana, right? I know, Johnny, you like fufu so much. During break, you rush and go and eat your fufu.
No.
Wherever the cassava...
It's propaganda. It's propaganda. I like Gobe, please. Helen,
fine. So
correct him before it becomes public record. Correct him first.
There's some truth in that.
So
but we like the Gobe. Gobe is supreme.
But
All right. So
Go ahead, please.
you don't know where that plantain that you are eating, that palm oil that you are eating, you don't know where it is coming from. We are told the mercury that they are using. We are told the cyanide that they are using. The health implications. The health people have told us when you go there now, still births, today they are giving birth to, they don't have one eye, don't have one ear, one child has both male and female organs, and all manner of things that are surfacing. And so you can argue that I live in Accra, I don't go to those areas, but they cut the food from those areas to Accra, and we all consume it.
Right.
Today I say, without being ashamed or without anything, that if you want to eat wholesome food, cassava, tomato, pepper, look in the area of water region, look in the area of Oti region. Actually, we have been able to, actually we can, there's no mining going on there. So some wholesome food is coming from there. I'm going to start packaging it. I'm going to market it, I'm going to project it. And I'm going to, when you come to Accra, anything that is coming from East region, don't have food region there. When you are taking it to watch it twice. If you want good food, come to Water region.
Your colleagues will fight
you.
you.
Want good food, come. That is the truth. If you care about your health, come. Me, these days, anytime I go to the country, I'm coming, I go to my own farm, I get my own cassava, I get my own plantain, I buy tomatoes and everything from there. That's what I eat. And I'll stop eating it from the chop bag because I don't know what I'm going to eat and where the food is coming from, the truth. So, where we are, we don't want it to become one of those things, smoke screen they call it, or something for the cameras, let's just pretend we are doing something. No, we want to see action. The effect that Galamsey is, truth be told where we are today, but for gold, I don't know where our economy will be.
Sunrise
and
on 3 FM.
I'm a Christian.
Best in the morning.
The Bible said, we look at the creation story in Genesis. God created everything. The last thing he created is what? A man. Then he said, I've given you dominion and authority over all I've created.
The last thing is a woman, actually, and when he finished, he rested.
Okay, that is your interpretation.
No, it's not my interpretation.
When the Bible says a man, a man is both male and female.
No, I'm saying that when he created a woman, he rested.
And the woman became a problem for the man.
I didn't say that.
So you see why you're going?
No.
So
you are the one interpreting it that way.
That God made a mistake by creating the woman.
I didn't say
because
that.
The woman that was created became a problem.
I didn't say that.
Maybe for the reason
I said no. I'm just I'm just stating record that the last thing the man God created was a woman. Created out of the rib of a man, and when he finished, he rested.
Can I proceed?
Please go ahead.
Okay. So the
Sunday school lessons.
God is not a wicked God. God didn't create human beings to come and suffer under the sun. Before we were born, before we were created, before we were brought on the planet Earth, God knows the things that we need to be able to survive. You and I didn't beg God for gold that we have beneath the earth crust. We didn't beg God for the diamonds we have. We didn't beg God for the crude we have. We have the rivers, the sunshine. God knows that we need this for our development. And you travel to several nations across the world, in Europe in particular. They don't have a quarter of any of this that we have. And yet, see how they have developed their countries. We have so much gold. So much gold. And I remember the first day I entered Obuasi. Obuasi I read about when I was just a boy. Obuasi Gold. I entered Obuasi around 6:30 p.m. that fateful day. And it's like, we have arrived. I said, are you joking? Is that the gold city?
Is that a golden city?
That a young boy from Oti region today has so much about. I thought I was going to see the most beautiful thing in Ghana. Only to see bad roads, some type of mean fish structures. Is that where the gold comes from? Then the worst of it, when I have to travel from Obuasi to Dukwafenso to Ayanfori, oh my God, look at the road network. And so, this gold, is it a blessing? Has it become a curse? Really, what have we done with it? Okay, so if we have not been able to use gold to develop ourselves, to develop our country, and why then should we allow the same thing now to become a nemesis, a thing that rather now is even rather drawing us back and down? Government can do it if government wants to do it.
Okay.
Government can stop Galamsey today if government is so minded. Government can stop illegal mining now and today if government is so minded. I am saying that the fight is not a joke.
But is your government minded? Because you promised the people that you were going to repeal the LI that allows for mining in forest reserves and all of that.
Yes.
Now, with the benefit of power, you're telling us that you want to tweak it.
Oh no, but
are you minded?
The last information I pick on that issue, I think President is determined that the LI be repealed, so that people don't enter into forest reserves and all.
You have 184 people in Parliament. You can just do that with a blink of an eye. You have 2/3 majority now.
The day that Attorney General submit that bill to Parliament, sure.
Is there pressure on him to submit it?
I should think so. I should think so. But of course, it's a good call. You see, I said that. Somebody said, don't be spectating. I think it was just said as a cliche. But that is what we want now. Ghana belongs to all of us. Right? The mere fact that I am an NDC member, we are in power today, doesn't mean that we know it all, we can know it all. Every member of our society must be involved, must be part of the governance. If Fred is not doing it right, call me out. If President Mahama is not doing it, call him out. A few months ago, people could even open their mouth to talk. The number of threats you receive on your phone, only God in heaven knows. But today, everybody at least can speak his mind. Everybody can whatever you want to say. Obi ambe tata, obi ambe bo. At least that alone is enough. So let's Ghanaians speak. Let's Ghanaians call the president. Mr. President, you said you are going to repeal the law. What have you done about it?
Right.
It's a good call. I am not going to run away from it.
Great.
And I will not. Let me conclude.
Go ahead.
Come and sit on this platform and start pontificating and start pretending that people within NDC sector are not involved in these illegal activities. I cannot do that. I am aware, I know, I've heard that people from our political party are involved in these things. I've been talking to the Minerals Commission Chief Executive, I speak to the Forestry Commission, I speak to the Minister. I am aware that our own people too are involved in these illegal activities. And so I'm happy now to commend the Attorney General very highly. I want to commend the President that they are willing and ready to crack the whip, regardless of who is involved and where it falls. And let this be a wake-up call to the people down there who think that is business as usual because our party has one power. They can take the law into their own hands. They can do whatever they want to do. If your organizer is facing an investigative agency,
right.
If your vice chairman is there, who are you?
Nana, beyond trying to prosecute people, trying to punish people to serve as a deterrent, there's also a conversation about reclamation of the lands that have been destroyed. You have devoted your life and your expertise to planting trees and trying to reconcile man with nature. Looking at the bigger picture with this whole fight against Galamsey, do you see the reclamation mix in the heart of the plan?
Urban extensions regard from
Kwabena.
Cincinnati,
okay.
Ohio in the US.
Okay. Tell him.
Yeah, I say he's watching you. I don't know it's up already. He doesn't even look for
regards to Trump. Tell him to greet Trump for us.
I'm sure he's praying for the elimination of Trump.
Yes.
Yeah, so definitely. I mean, we really need to, deal with this menace. One of the best ways we can, salvage the situation is through reclamation of the lands that have been destroyed. But you see, I just want to say this: development. We always talk about Ghana developing. We want to develop. We have. I strongly believe that our understanding of development is not up there. Because you see, development is in nature. That is how I see it. It's not in the books. For instance, if we cannot manage our environment, just the management of our environment, from individuals to corporates, and if we cannot manage it, there's no way we're going to develop. We have to be very intentional about our environment. We have to be very direct about how we manage our own systems, ecosystems. For instance, when you travel to the West, you move around and you see greens everywhere. Pavement greens, greens. These are conscious efforts. It didn't just happen. There's a plan. Because as
you find the lawns, you find the trees,
you
find flowers.
It's so beautiful. These are things well thought out and executed. But look at our situation. You have trees sitting in places, and when somebody buys a parcel of land to build, the first casualty
is the
trees. And we seem not to understand that these trees are very germane to our existence as humans. the air we breathe, what is the quality? Some years back, I think 2-3 years back, Ghana's...
In fact, Helen was the one who was giving us a daily update, Helen, about the quality of air we were breathing.
Exactly.
Right? And she would come in the morning and she's all over the place and we'll be looking at her. Madam, slow down.
For those of us who have these underlying issues, breathing, quality,
Absolutely.
for me, I don't take it lightly at all. And I know many Ghanaians also, think about that. The quality of the air.
In fact, you wake up at some point and you see that the whole place is misty. You find small particles flowing, in the air, and you're not too sure
In fact, at
what you're breathing.
Our air, we're supposed to be the report came out and we're the most polluted air pollution in
That's
the
right.
world, not in Africa, in the world. You see, and so we need as a people to begin paying attention to some of these little things, and in doing them, we're going to solve the problem. Now, for the Galamsey issue and the reclamation, we can do it, but as Honorable said, we need to be very intentional about it. If we are not intentional, we will keep doing, a
regime
president
has
comes
come.
in. But I think that our current president has a very, very unique place in the history of Ghana today. Apart from the fact
why is that?
He lost power in the first step and came back. I think that this is the first time it's happened in our history. And then the fact that he also has a very not to do it. They are emboldened because they know the actors, the main actors, they know.
Right.
Only yesterday, there are reports that 20 young, guys in Achim, Winchi, somewhere got trapped in the Galamsey side, 4 already dead. You see, do we know what the future holds for these young people that we're just messing around with? That guy who passed yesterday,
Right.
do we know who that person could have become? We need to respect human life. We need to respect our young people. We do not. It's because we have failed as a people, especially those in the helm of affairs. Because as Honorable said, you make the laws for us to go by as citizens.
Right.
It is because we all cannot govern. That is why we've given the mandate to a few people, especially the president and his appointees, to ensure that we all move together in unison to achieve a common goal of our country developing.
Right.
And yet, the very people that we kill to vote for become those who perpetrate these crimes and get those young people,
the law gatekeepers become the lawless people.
and then expose them to all forms of dangers, apart from falling in these pits, the health implications.
Right. Well, we'll come to that conversation. Let me connect with Daryl Boso of Arocha, Ghana. He's joining us on the phone line. It's 9 a.m. on the dot. Mr. Boso, welcome. Thank you very much for your time.
Good morning, Johnny, and also good morning to you, your colleague, and also Honorable Fred Kwabena, and
Great.
I hope everything is fine.
God is alive. We are fine. Daryl, I know that you have been monitoring closely this whole Galamsey conversation. Now the Attorney General has written to Yoko to say, go back to the Frimpong report, bring Yamin in, bring Abanga in, investigate them, possibly bring in Mr. EC from the Minerals Commission. Is the Attorney General on the right path, would you say?
Yes, Johnny, I think that I really have the discussion, and I must say that I like everything I'm hearing this morning, particularly from Honorable Fred Kwabena.
Right.
I must agree with him that the volatile region going towards OT areas is one of the beautiful places we still have in this country. It's just breathtaking. Not only just good air, everything. And I'm sure this is something we wish that we could see all across the country. But maybe coming back to the point you asked, we see that this is a very good move. For whatever reason is meant this to be, looking at the fact that the government itself is going after its own people, high-ranking officials within the government, to really make a statement that, look, we are not going to tolerate any impunity from any of you. It's a very, very good move. But I think what needs to be done is that it should just be a directive. Usually when these things start, it's the ending that is much more important. And You recall we had issues with the MP for Anwen, who was allegedly involved in illegal activities, the Ghana coalitions, and even Ken Asibe, together with other people, sent a petition to the IGP and also to the president. I mean, we've not seen a conclusion to this. There was also reported incidents of the constitutional chairperson for Dunkwao and Maxim also involved in illegal activities. Nothing has been done about it. If the government now sees fit that, look, 2 high-ranking officials within the government have been involved or there's been reports, and so we should go after them, I think that whether it's for making a statement or really to get to the bottom of it is all good. Because it's a strong message that even for the grassroots, they get to know that, look, the government is not tolerating, and it doesn't matter who you are, they will come after you. So for us, we think it's a good move, and we encourage the government to ensure that there is transparency and they work with the due process and do what is needed to get to the bottom of it.
Speaking of transparency, are you still with your stance of this declaration of a state of emergency?
I mean, it's become obvious, and from what the president himself has acknowledged 2 days ago, that more than ever, I mean, this state of emergency should have been implemented yesterday. The government has dragged its feet for so long, just like every action relating to Galamsey. And so we're saying that if the government really is seeing this as a national emergency, then the response must commensurate the level to have lifted the risk. So I believe that we have to see something more than all the business as usual activities we'll be doing, the excavator issue that are pending, the control, the geotagging of the excavators, the foreigners that we are deporting instead of prosecuting and all of that. We need to see some drastic changes. Otherwise, it's just going to be lip service. Yeah.
Now, the conversation about, and around this table, we have had a conversation about employment for those who are engaged in Galamsey. If we want to stop it, it means that we have to find them alternative means of making, baking their own bread, for want of a better expression. Then you look at how much some of them claim to make on a daily basis in the pits. And you look at what manner of work could be giving them that kind of money if we decide that we're stamping Galamsey, out completely. And then you also look at the unskilled labor that is coming into the workforce and what levels they can be ejected into. What do you propose?
First of all, John, we need to get the perspective right. Ghana has got serious unemployment issues that need to be dealt with and be seen also as a national issue that is prioritized at all levels. We also have the issue of Galamsey. Yes, many people have said that the people who are engaged in some of these legal activities do it because of livelihood. There is some truth to that, but largely what we see on the ground is also about people who want to live large. And I want us to decouple the issue of creating jobs and employment and training for people in communities from the issue of dealing with Galamsey. They are totally 2 different issues. I have seen that people who want to stay in the pit are there because they want to make enormous profits, enormous revenue, generate enormous income. I mean, something that you and I, if we are really getting to work, even if they pay us, we can never make in a month. If you look at how much money they make, it's so huge. It doesn't match up with anything that anybody is making in this country. So I believe that we should see those 2 issues as totally different and not give anybody the excuse to say that because you have not given me a job, that is why I'm in the pit. They are totally 2 different issues. And yes, there are issues with unemployment. And that is why as a country, we need to be very ahead the point and it's very intentional because the issue of unemployment is very systematic. It's not something that happened 8 years ago or say 10 years ago. It's been a systematic problem that's been with us for more than 15 years, 20 years. We are not, compelling our young people to go to school and just look at it. With the mining that is going on, even students, we are watching on as students skip school and go to the mines. They don't go for any training. They just don't. Are they going to grow up to be adults who just want to dig or can only dig? Is that what we want as a country? So we need to be very systematic with the kind of employment opportunities we generate. It should be very comprehensive, look at value chains. And if you look at all these regions, Eastern region, Ashanti region, the Western region, These are places where there's enormous opportunity for green commodity value chain development, where we connect production to processing and to market. If we do that deliberately, empowering our people with a systematic messaging and enforcement also to ensure that, look, if you are trained and you are not adhering to some of these regulations, then the law must deal with you. I think the approach should be one of both a carrot and a stick. Give people the opportunity to take up jobs. If they don't take it, then the punitive measures should be much more deterrent. And that's something we shouldn't compromise on. But so far, we allow people, and sometimes you even hear our leaders talk about the fact that a lot of people are getting jobs out of it. Wait, at what cost to the rest of the country? What I see happening is that as people are doing Galamsey, some people are enjoying because of Galamsey. There's a lot of job displacement also in most of the communities. Think about the many farmers who are displaced from their farms and can no longer do cocoa farming or can no longer grow crops. I know of vegetable farmers associations in parts of the eastern region who are now in debt because they can't grow quality vegetables because the water they use for their irrigation is polluted. So this is displacement. So I think we need to be very intentional with everything, not only with the enforcement and some of the policies relating to Galamsey, but also the other driving underlying issues that have pushed people to the pit in the first place. So I think that let's decouple these two issues. The employment issue is a national issue that needs to be dealt with. It is no way connected to the Galamsey issue. Galamsey, illegal mining is illegal mining. It needs to be treated as such and dealt with.
But where people tell you that, look, we know it is illegal mining, but this is what feeds us because we can't find jobs. You will find a very thin line, not too easy to decouple, yes?
Well, you see, it's also a matter of the messaging. I mean, an illegal activity, when the state starts glorifying illegal activity, and for example, the assembly, instead of putting in place deterrent measures, see an illegal activity an opportunity to generate revenue, then you set a bad precedent. And then some of these discussions we're having and drawing the fine line becomes a problem. I always say that, look, and if an activity is illegal, it is up to the state to really make sure that they implement the law full force. Yes, some people say that they don't have unemployment, but Julie, there has also been some development within the past years where governments and NGOs, several of them have really tried to bring in additional or alternative livelihood options. These people have blatantly decided we are not interested because we are not getting as much as we get from the mining. So it's not an issue about the fact that they just want something to live on. It's not about subsistence. It's about getting more and living large. That is where we also need to keep a close eye on. Are people really in the pit because they really want to feed or they want to live large? Why do you think that there's proliferation of drinking bars and all of that and garage sales in mining areas and sometimes you find it in a sprawling urban township? So I think there is really a problem there, and that is why you don't let anybody engage in illegality allow the activity to become pervasive to the extent that we start justifying it. And that is what we are doing. And maybe that is why now, even though we claim we are fighting Galamsey, you go to most districts, most of these hotspot areas, Galamsey has been normalized. You see mothers and their children get out with pants on their head. If you don't watch close, you think they're going to the farm. No, they're all going to the mining site.
I see.
To go and watch and bring something home. It becomes so normalized that you see the police, everybody walk each other, maybe see them off to the gate at the mining area, and then they come back. And on weekends, the police are also everywhere with their motorbikes and vehicles patrolling these sites, just saying hi and taking their own bits and shares, and nothing gets done. I am afraid of what is to come if you allow these illegalities to be entrenched to the extent that we think that it's enough justification for people who say, I'm unemployed, so I should be in the pit. There shouldn't be any excuse to accommodate this.
Daryl, before I let you go, and I'll split this question between you and Nana, I'll say Dakwa, about the kind of trees that we need to plant in order to regain our vegetative cover and also to reclaim the land. If you like, simply put that and put it, reconcile man with nature. The government recently launched a tree planting, project. The previous government had a similar thing. But where are we planting the trees? Are we taking time, and what species are we planting, for example? What do you know, Nana? Let Darryl finish it. Darryl, what do you know?
Well, I think that, yes, the previous government started what you call Green Ghana. We were not happy about it because of, even though the idea is good, if you look at it, it was not really solving the problem. You say you are planting trees when you are also destroying a lot of trees and forests in our urban centers, in the communities, and in forest reserves. I think this government's idea of tree for life is no different from that. The only thing is that they are not seeking to plant about 20 million trees in one day. They've given themselves about 4 months within the rainy season to plant trees in several targeted areas where they also target forest reserves and all of that. But I think you asked the right question. Are we planting the right trees at the right place? One fundamental principle of reforestation or restoring land is the fact that, first of all, whatever activity is contributing to the destruction and the degradation must cease. For as long as Galamsey continues, it is not even possible to go and do restoration.
Right.
I can tell you, Johnny, we have a few sites we did restoration on. Miners have gone back Nicodemously to dig up these places again. And that is only with us. There are several places like that across the country where restoration activities were done. These miners went back and dug up the place again because they think, oh, we now have better machines, we can make much more good use of the land and recover more gold. So they've gone back to dig it up. So the problem is we must start to stopping the Galamsey in areas we want to do restoration. Then there's also the need to already look at the land as it is, to restore it to functional levels, functional at the point where we can produce crops that are quality and we can eat and not feel sick. We need to start removing all the heavy metal that has been exposed to these soils. Until we do that, whatever trees we plant, if it's food and all of that, is going to have rather later repercussions. So we might have to then put in the right trees at the right place. There are several tree species we can. There's a local tree variety and all of that. But because of the degraded nature of the land, we need to be very purposeful and maybe introducing some fast-growing trees that can also remove the heavy metals. And then later on in the future, remove these trees and then start cropping it, knowing that the heavy metal contamination levels are levels that are conducive to human consumption or exposure. So I think that the Tree for Life can do a lot if we are very deliberate and we are also very intentional about what trees we plant and what trees we plant where. I want to see government planning on planting trees in for example, the forest reserve, focusing on native tree species, which would then help the forest to regenerate. But in the off-reserve areas, then we might have to explore this diversity of both fast-growing species that are not invasive, so that in the future we are not saddled with having to remove all of these invasive from our landscape and all of that. Then we need to treat critical areas like rivers and watersheds and all of that differently. What we do on a farmland somewhere cannot be the same thing we do on a waterland or on a watershed. So I think that the rivers should also be treated separately and ensure that we plant native trees as much as possible because of issues of invasion. So the opportunity is there, and I believe that the government will consult. There are a lot of technical people in the system, and if the right things are done with making sure that we plant the right trees at the right place and in time and in season, we are very successful. But before we're able to do that, we must stop the illegal mining that is still plundering and destroying a lot of our land across the country.
Darryl Bosso, Deputy National Director, Rocha Ghana, we're grateful that you spent your morning with us. Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure.
Some 16 minutes after 9 here on Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. And I'll say Dakwa is still my guest. He's the founding president of the Green Republic Project. And Fred Agbenyo is the MP for the people of Santo Kofi, Akpafulikpe, and Lolobi constituency. Sal, as we like to call them. He's also here in studio. Nana, I asked Darryl that question. I put that same question to you. Are we planting the right trees, and where are we planting these trees in order to salvage the situation, regain our vegetative cover, and also to reclaim the land properly, return it to status quo ante?
Yeah, I think Darryl made a very instructive point that to commence, we need to stop Galamsey. And that is how come we think that the state of emergency, I think that was promised during the campaigns, be executed so that we can have the space to now do the things that we need to do. else. I know of a site, in the eastern region where Darrell and his team, did some reclamation by planting trees there.
Right.
And like he said, they've gone back to dig the place because they
destroyed all the trees that were planted.
The miners believe that when they mine here, they leave for a certain number of months and they come back. The tendency to find gold there still exists. Yes. So that is why these boys go into pits that have been dug already.
Okay.
By the big mining firms, and then at the end of the day they get trapped. And so the main focus of the leaders of this country with Galamsey should be to ban Galamsey through the state of emergency thing.
Right.
Once that is done, it gives us a certain space to think and also to implement projects that will help us reclaim.
Right.
But we cannot do the reclamation whilst Galamsey is still in full effect. It will be much ado about nothing.
Right.
So that is what we need to do. And I mean, we do not know why the state of emergency has not been,
declared yet.
It was a good thought, and that is the only way. For me, that is the only way we can get some sanity in the system and then begin to roll out subsequent plans.
It goes also to say that, look, this whole Galamsey fight transcends political administrations.
Absolutely.
But it doesn't look like, as a country, we have a blueprint to fighting this Galamsey. Is it time we got a blueprint so that it doesn't matter who is president, which party is in power, we know this is what we want to do, we know this is the direction we want to go. Is it time yet?
Yeah, it's time for us to do that. And that brings into sharp focus a national policy,
right.
National development policy, which I believe in the past, we had a body that was responsible for that.
We still have that.
We still have it,
Development
but
Planning
every
Authority.
government comes with their own plan. And so at the end of the day, there is no cohesion, there's no continuity, to things that one government starts and then, where the next government also decides to go. We need to have that discipline, of developing in a more consistent way, such that when government A does this and government B comes to the scene, they need to continue. Okay, else we'll be doing things in piecemeals. This one
silos.
does this, leaves it, and for instance, the fight against Galamsey. The past government used the military.
Right. Immigration, military, and police. We adapted, drone technology.
Drone technology. It didn't work. We still have, the current government also using the military. So we need to sit as a people. The country can call on some experts, security experts, sit together and come out with a plan. Not a political, committee, but a non-political committee to sit and really think about this thing and see how we can stop it. As Honorable said, why do we have the military in the first place? For me, what is happening is more than external aggression, because there are people coming from Burkina Faso, other Togo and other places,
to participate.
Chinese doing this. This will not happen in any other country. Because we are labeled to be people who are so nice to foreigners, we are hospitable people. That does not mean we sit and watch foreigners, join this menace and destroy our very existence, the lands that we need to farm on, the water bodies that serve us in terms of our, drinking water and all that. Today, most of those river bodies have no life in them. They become more than the Dead Sea. So why do we sit and look on when we have the military? I strongly believe that if the state of emergency is declared, this whole Galamsey menace, the nation will have a certain space to now think with clarity and deal with the issues. But until we do that, the guys are not scared of anybody. They are in there, and sometimes they even have more sophisticated weapons than what some of the state security agencies go there with. So we need to take it as a form of war, and exactly what it is war.
Okay, Fred, the kinds of jobs that your government is promising to create or is in the process of creating, will it answer the conundrum of the insatiable desires of the boys in the pit We want them out of the pit. But the jobs we are creating, can they answer that question for them?
So I did my first master's in social policy. And I look at volunteerism vis-a-vis cost of government projects and how we can leverage on social capital to bring down the cost of government projects. Now, I did a second master's MPhil in development studies, community development.
Right.
And I was looking at issues of unemployment and how we can sustain unemployment. It's the same thing I've done in my PhD level.
Right.
My work will come out soon.
Congratulations in advance.
The point I'm trying to make for which I'm saying this is that unemployment, it depends on how you want to define unemployment, how you want to see it. Data is showing that majority of these guys who are working in these Galamsey sites have learned one form of trade or the other.
Right.
They are carpenters, they are drivers, they are missing, what have you. So it is not enough to just give people skills. If when I go from Akpafu in OT region, and I come to Accra to come and learn maybe auto mechanic, whatever you call it, and I return to my village to go and set up and work. First question, how many vehicles do we have in my village? How many drivers will come to my shop in a day? I've learned the skills, I've set up, but do I get the work to do to remain fashionable? Do you know the number of girls who go and learn hairdressing every year in our country? You check the data, you'll be amazed. Majority of them, their parents will even try and open salons for them. The salons barely last for over a year. They will abandon it and come back to Accra. Majority of the people you see hawking around our streets and selling around, most of them have learned one form of trade or another. They've locked their shops and they are here.
Why?
You see, government is the highest consumer in our country.
Right.
Government holds the biggest purse, so to speak. When we are not deliberate about policy and we do it just because we want to score a political point, we can do whatever we want to do under the sun. The germane problem we intend to solve, we can't solve it. So on paper, we have trained 10,000 people. Has that resolved unemployment? Has that moved people from the street, from hawking? Has that moved people from the Galamsey pits and what have you? It hasn't. Because it's not enough to give them the skills. You must move beyond the skills to setting them up. It is not enough to just set them up. How do you sustain that? So, for instance, we said, okay, those are going to learn sewing. When we get back to the villages, they are now going to sew school uniforms. How often do they get that to do? What other policies have you put in place to promote your garment industry? Stop bringing in the second-hand clothes, which are already sewn and made, which are far cheaper. And so if I go to Katamantu now, I can pick a shirt for 10 cedis. Instead of me going to buy a material for 15 cedis, for a tailor to go and sew for 10 cedis, I prefer to go to Katamantu. I have another leeway. So all the tailors, all the seamstresses, they have lined up, yet no job for them. A man must survive. And so they will survive anyway, even at the peril of their very lives.
The best in the morning.
Do you know what is going on? Galamsey trade is not a child's play. It is big money and good money we are talking about.
Right.
If you can be here as a journalist working for only God knows how long, 30 years, and you don't have $1 million maybe in your account, and somebody can go to the Galamsey site, and within a month, he can raise that amount of money, what are you going to tell him to convince him that go to school and become a journalist?
Make it unattractive then.
You must.
And how do we do
You
that
must.
if we are not ready to declare the state of
You
emergency?
see, again, I made a point earlier. Our economy is largely not dependent
On gold.
on mining. And so it is not enough to say, let us ban money and mining. If you do, what happens to your economy? What we are not doing in the mining sector, for me, that is the major problem. We are not doing enough research
But you were in opposition, and your party was very vocal
we are
on
having a general conversation.
Hold on.
You know, when it comes to things like this, me, I don't wear political clothes.
No, it's not you. I'm saying that the party you belong to, which has formed the government now, about 6-7 months ago, was busy screaming and breathing down the necks of the government in power at the time that they have to declare state of emergency.
I've not departed from that. If that is what is our problem, why not? We promise that we must do it. I'm not against it. Because what we are seeing today is so devastating, we have to do something about it. And so if at the time when we were in opposition, we thought that declaring a state of emergency was going to be the financial, was going to solve the problem, why must we not do it? It's a social contract we entered the people of this country. It was based on that the people voted for us. So once you assume office, the people must see you living up to your promises.
Right.
And so I am all out for it. If that is the solution, I am saying we need to invest more into research.
Right.
Mining is not an exclusive activity for only Ghanaians. People are mining all over the world.
Responsibly.
You have been to Johannesburg a number of times. Have you seen a Galamsey beat anywhere? Don't you drive on good roads? Don't you sleep in good rooms? The light is not on 24/7? Is everything not okay? Do you even know where they do the mining in Joburg?
No.
Go to Australia and go to other states where they do the mining. Due to the kind of things we are seeing over here. The point I'm making is that they do mine. It's not like maybe iron ore where they carry everything away to the fat. This one, you mine the ore, you have to wash it, and so you need water. If we do enough research and we have data, that is telling you when you want to go into mining camp. We have surveyed the whole of this 100 acres of land. The gold we are looking for is within this catchment area.
Right.
So go there and go and mine. So they are not going to, what is the word? Scavenger, how do you call it?
They dig everywhere indiscriminately.
Dig looking for. Just because they don't know.
Right.
But if we have the data, these days there are a lot of technology that just by putting a device on the land, you are able to tell what is beneath the earth crust. These Galamsey guys now, or these small scale mining people now, can create a dam, can now use underground water. Do you understand? Create a bubble, they don't go to river bodies again. Mine the gold, use the water that they have created to do the washing. Then when they finish, they can pour chemicals in to make sure that all the cyanide and maybe that they might have used, they're able to get it off, and the water goes back underground. It will not destroy water bodies. But the current situation is that we don't know exactly where the gold is. So how many boreholes are you going to dig? How many ponds are you going to create? And so you give them a football park, and they are digging everywhere. Digging. We need to invest in research. We need to bring appropriate technology. There is no way we can stop mining in Ghana. We can't.
Look, if you go to South Africa, for example, they have what they call the Zamazames.
Yes.
That's their form of illegal miners. Yes, they have it. But it is not as pronounced as...
Everywhere, even Australia, they have.
Look, Nana mentioned, in fact, you were the one who mentioned Obuasi. PRI, one of our guys here, his mother passed, we went to Obuasi. And that was my second time in Obuasi. I was just measuring that against when I first went to Obuasi in the early 90s, 2000, thereabouts. And I couldn't believe it. The water bodies, none was clean. I was so beside myself, I couldn't believe it. How did we allow for us to get to this point? Because at every forest entry point, we have forestry commission people there. In every village or district, you have NIB or BNI people there. You have national security people. You have police. You have the military. So how?
You see, you don't send a poor man to go and protect wealth.
What will happen?
I'll explain to you.
Explain.
Go to our police barracks.
Sunrise on
See the conditions in which our police are
in the morning.
Go to our military barracks. See the conditions in which our military are living. They also have wives.
Right.
They also have children. They also attend school. They also pay school fees. They also want to enjoy the good things that everybody else is enjoying in life. His salary is barely 3,000 Ghana cedis a month. And he's supposed to do all these things. Then you take this guy whose fridges and everything is outside, and a cubicle that was built for people who just come and do an operation in Accra, maybe 2 days, 3 days, and go back. That is where now he leaves the wife and children. So majority of their children, they sleep outside. Oftentimes, you are told children even brought up from barracks, per the research, are becoming something because that parental care and control is not there. Peer pressure so much. Now you take this person now to the mining site, where when he gets a ring of gold, it can transform his entire life. How long will it take for him to compromise? How long will it take for him to compromise? When he's looking at his personal circumstances. So we play with everything. When people work at the Bank of Ghana, the reason why you want to pay them high salaries, when people are chief executive of state institutions, you want to pay them so much and give them comfortable life. Because you know where they sit, there's a potential they can amass, they can steal, they can take. So let us give you everything that you need, so that nothing entices you again. Nothing drives you to go and do the wrong thing. This is the thinking in some jurisdictions, right? But this thing we are doing,
3FM.
send a military guy there, send the police there, send a soldier there. I'm saying that all these things we are lamenting and complaining about, we can stop it 1 minute. If we are willing, we are determined, we have made up our mind, I want to stop it. Solution is not the screaming and talking and taking the military there. Go back to research. Go back, see, we can do mining, we will cut down the trees, we will do all the thing. When we finish, there's a standby team. They've worked for 1 week, 2 weeks, go on break. The place that you worked, we will do land reclamation, we'll plant tree, we move to the next level. At every point that you go there, the place is nice and okay. Now look, how can a whole nation like Ghana come up with a policy, forensic commission and the rest? If you bring excavators to the place to come and destroy the land, you mine, you take your good, you are going home. The excavators you brought, our solution, we confiscate, we pour petrol on it, we throw it in a match and burn it down. Then now we go and look for another machines to come and do land reclamation. How does it work? Does it make sense to you? Why are you not confiscating those machines and give to the disassembly and say, use these same machines and go and do land reclamation? If you go back to the people who do land and you regulate and register them, you are on them, there's a register. Whatever money you make from your mining, 10% of it goes into this fund. We are going to use that to do land reclamation. We are going to use that to do tree planting. So you are creating employment for other people. So some are mining, making money. Others are doing land reclamation, making money. Others are planting trees, making money. We will survive as a society. This whole blanket, we are putting everything together in one basket. Oh, let's seize it. Let's stop it. For me, it's not a solution.
Okay.
It is not.
Fred.
And so I am insisting that what we need to do is to invest, one, in research. Two, land reclamation. See, when we engage the people they acted, they tell you the money involved in land reclamation is not a joke. And some of the people we pretend to send to go into land reclamation, they go there to rather do what? More mining. Today, even road contractors in some of those areas, you are
checking what's there.
We are very funny, eh? We bring contractors, foreign people into this country. We don't do research. We think that gold is the most expensive mineral under the sun. We have all manner of minerals in this our country. We don't even know. I'm told about somewhere they give a concert to people to do mining in the West. I think they are doing diamonds or bauxite, one of those things. You know what they do? When they do, they collect everything, sand, everything. They ship everything away in the country. Because whereas we are thinking that they are only mining a particular mineral, they are seeing more things that we don't know. Because we don't invest in research, we don't do anything, and they carry everything away. The sun, everything, put in a ship and take it away. Are they fools? And so we are joking too much.
Okay. Thank you. Fred Agbenyo is member of parliament for the Guan constituency, the people of Santo Kofi, Akpafu Likpe and Levy. Now you have the closing thoughts. What do you leave us with?
all I'll say is that we have to be serious. You know, we so far we've not shown enough seriousness, because as a nation, if we really and truly want to stop this Galamsey thing, we will be able to do it. We are just not ready to make sure we nip it in the bud. For instance, I mean, one funny thing that I've come across is this missing excavators. During MPP's time, excavators got missing. And then NDC comes to power and excavators get missing. I mean, it's like a replay of the things that happened in the past happening again. So it tells you that the major political actors in this space are not really ready to get this thing off their back, because they are benefiting. You know, some of these people fund political parties. Some of them are within the political parties. And so we need a leadership. The president needs to show that leadership now, you know, by calling it off, at least to give us the breathing space, you know, to be able to come up with the solutions, because there are a lot of solutions that have been preferred, but there's so much noise that we cannot even implement those solutions. And so first and foremost, stop it, and then we can move forward with whatever solutions that we have.
Thank you. Fred, before you go, though, Levy, that's what the opposition is calling now.
What is the official name?
Levy.
What's the official name?
I don't know. What's the official name? The tax you imposed on the people. What is it? What is
Tell
it?
your producer to help you to know that.
What is
why
the,
are you asking me?
What's the official? But you in Parliament, you
So
passed the law.
how come that you know the
What
name?
was the name of the law you passed?
How come that you know the name that
That is the most popular that the people
you call
can
it a
understand.
popular name, then keep it.
Yes.
Even in Parliament, they say
Even in Parliament, they say the Levy. Didn't you hear your leader
Well,
say that? First of all, was that tax necessary?
From where I sit and the facts available to me, I think it's necessary. We are better off saving the situation than glossing over for it to collapse completely. The fact of the issue is that we all know we have what we call this legacy debt in the energy sector, for which the energy sector levy tax was introduced under the NDC. At the time, some people described as a nuisance tax, and that they were going to scrap when they come. Unfortunately, when they came into office, they decided to collateralize that same tax. They went and took some money, and so they don't even know what they invested the money into. When they left, if you go to the energy sector, my brother, you go and check the books of ECG, you check the books of VRA, and all the IPPs that we have in this country. It is sad and pathetic. I currently serve on a VRA board,
right?
And so I know what I'm talking about. And the only way we can save the situation, I think, on any day, Ghanaians will prefer to pay one more CD and have their light running 24/7 and have their work going on, than to say that I will not pay one CD for us to return to the doom saw or to collapse the entire system. There's no way we'll run a 24-hour economy with that sustainable energy. What we have been tasked to move into right now really is a green energy and renewable energy, which is cheaper. If you look at the amount of money we are spending on light crude oil to power some of these thermal plants, it is not sustainable. And so the original idea and plan, we have rivers all over this country that we can put small dams on. I was watching a video recently on social media where people now can even create, let me call it locally, a gutter, a drain, right, in their farm. And then they'll create the slope in such a way, and then they dig underground water, then whatever is passing there, then they create something like a turbine and put it's turning, and then they generate their own power for their farm use. Simple technology. These are things I expect from tech, from our technical universities. Simple. So that every farmer now, he can do some form of irrigation without necessarily extending light. I have argued, and I'll continue recently, I was in the VRA chief executive and everybody. What is this where we think that the whole of this country must be on the national grid, where we are extending electricity to every village, and we are proud and happy that, we have electricity in every village. Is that the solution? When in some of these villages, you need to get a river over there. They've got the total consumption of electricity over there is maybe up to a megawatt. They don't have consumed the whole community because they barely use a fridge, use a bulb, nothing. There's no fat, there's nothing. So look at the cost involved in transmitting lights all the way to that community. Is that the best option? And you go to some of this community now, they even go and disconnect them completely because they can't even pay their bills, and they are involved in all manner of illegal activities. How do we sit on? Accra is expanding, new communities are coming up. In every civilized and advanced society, the first thing that goes to an area before human beings move in there are social amenities, i.e. roads, water, electricity. They always go ahead of human beings migrating to the place. But our case, the rivers. People go and put up houses, there's no light, there's no water, and so then they are compelled to do illegal things and create debts for the system. Where we are now, President Mahama would have wished that Ghanaians don't even pay for electricity and water bill at all. But as a nation where we are, it is simply not sustainable. And so when leadership is loneliness, it's very biting, it's very painful. But you have to weigh your options. Should we say it will affect Ghanaians today, and so we are not going to introduce it? What about the medium to the long-term effects? You know, so when you do the extrapolation, you look at it closely, the best option will be for you to do what you have done.
Would it not have been more prudent if you put, say, a CD on a gallon instead of drilling down to a liter, every liter?
Yeah, if you understand the petroleum industry and how it works, everything is on a liter. It gives you better space.
Yeah, so that one CD will be 25
a gallon is about almost 4.5.
Yeah, 4.5.
Liters. And so that's about 40-50 pesos that has been to. But you see,
that's a lot of money.
I agree.
That's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money, but if you look
that can buy me 4 tatali.
If you look at that money, where the fuel price was when we came into office, even with this introduction, we are still not there yet. Have you noticed that? Where the price of fuel was before we came,
right?
Even if this forced this introduction, we are still not.
No, but don't compare with failure.
I'm not comparing.
Compare with best practices, best successes.
I agree that. I'm only saying that you can't eat your cake and have it. Where we are now, it is a necessary evil, because if we don't take it, we will return to what we all don't want to return to. That's the reality. Because the depths that are in that sector. But I believe we will be able to put other measures, like I said, green energy. How do we harvest? We have the sea running from Keta all the way to Azim, right? And so what can we do with the wind energy, right? The solar. Have you been to Israel before? And almost every house you see solar panels. So they have two, I don't know how they do it, the technical can tell us. Daytime, they get the sun energy. That's why they used to propel all the things in their house. When there's excess, they move to the national grid. So they even give them some income. You know, why all this high-rise building, Accra and this thing, why are we not necessarily and compulsorily putting solar panels on them? If I go to the University of Ghana, number of students and people live on campus alone today, almost 50,000 cities. We all produce waste, right? Both human, whatever waste. Biogas. Why can't we do it? Right? We do biogas, used to get energy to feed the whole of Ghana. Legon. Legon doesn't need to be on the national grid. Kolebu Hospital, number of people go there. Human excreta, the gas we can produce. So that's the truth.
Yeah.
So we need to look at the miss and start getting some institutions off. When we do that, the electricity that we generate from the main source now can go to industry.
Okay.
So they are working, they are paying. Go to VACO, go and check how much VACO is owing.
ECG.
It's not VRA.
VRA, yes. Right.
You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised. And so we have a major problem. And we can do all the politics with it. We can say all the things we want to say about it. But if we don't nit in the bad, we'll run into problem. And for me, this is not rocket science.
How long is this going to last, this D-levy?
I am not too sure. When we introduced the E-levy, I think we give the time frame. It was supposed to last for within 2 years or so.
Right.
After which we would have retired all the debts and then we take it off. Unfortunately, like I said, we lost power and everything has changed. I'm not too sure how this one is going to last. I'll find out. I can provide information later.
But the monies that are being collected, the 1 CD off every letter, are we creating a dedicated account to save it in so that people can track the progress of how much we are paying, how much is accruing, and what debts are being offset with that?
Yeah, I know that the first one that we did, the ESLA levy, ESLA levy was in a dedicated fund.
Right.
So we know exactly how much has been accrued to that fund since its establishment and whatever has been spent on. I think that as a former of the why not? We should all be interested. It's not enough for us to just pay the money. We want to see how much we have gotten and where that particular money has been channeled to. So it's a good call.
Fred, I thank you. Nana, what are your 2 cents on this one? levy. I'm sure that yesterday I was hit at the fuel station. I saw my smoothness level.
Talked about research, which is really, really important.
Right.
And I think that our political parties must begin, the issue of research. They need to take it very seriously, because if you promise the people that you are not going to introduce taxes,
right,
only for you to come to power to introduce this D-levy.
Right. To be confronted with the realities and the facts.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Your research team, it should not be research on how you're going to win power alone. It should be a comprehensive research of ministry by ministry, so that at least there will be politics of principle. Because this party comes to power, the very thing they promise us, they don't do it. The next party comes, we're faced with a certain reality, especially when most of these parties have had the opportunity of ruling
power before.
So we need to depart from that kind of a path where we promise this and then it's another thing with the excuse that we're faced with reality. I think even from the first President Kufuor, it happened when he was questioned on the number of ministers. Now he said, he did not understand, and that President Mahama, he said, look, you have to be president to be able.
Once you're that agent, then you commend John Dramani Mahama. Actually, they are scared fit.
But I'm coming there. That's why.
This one, all I want to
know. This one is money.
This one is direct money.
One city on the letter.
This one is pay as you go.
It's really serious.
Pay as you go. Yesterday I saw my smoothness level.
What the president has done.
What used to give me 16 liters? Yesterday gave me 11 liters.
Yes. But even the sad thing, after the president we have introduced this law, then the president wakes up and says, you know what, all of you government appointees and everybody, you too must suffer the brain. All fuel for you, cancel. You have to go and buy.
But you see, while that is laudable, again, the fine details, like Nana is saying. So, how much does the government spend on fuel on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis? Now, if you will look at how much you spend, then you say, we have cancelled fuel allowances for government appointees, including Fred Agbenya, who is a board member of VRA.
Nobody give me fuel, please.
Yes, no, I'm just saying you're a government appointee, so including you. Now, including you. So if
from Goyle,
no.
So I'm sure that when you meet the leadership,
Fred, they say are down for Fred, they are down for
every day.
So 100 million, then we say we have cut this out. So then maybe 60 million is off. So 40 million is what we are spending now to run government machinery. The 60 million, this is what we are saving week on week, and this is where we are putting it, and this is what we will use it for. It will get the people to buy in, as opposed to saying we have cancelled, we have increased.
I agree with you. It's a good call. I agree.
Because they have so many ways of getting money to buy food, whether or not there's a full coupons.
Whether or not there are several ways.
Fred Agbenya is the MP for the Goan constituency, and Nana Osei Dakwa is also the founding president of the Green Republic. Helen, nothing surprises me anymore.
There was something I really wanted to say very quickly whilst Honorable is here. He talks about the food in the Volta region, how tasty it is, how unpolluted it is.
I can attest to that fact.
I think we should start to reward the regions and areas that are doing well with this and send the money their way, so that if you are a leader in a region where Galamsey is rife, we won't buy your food stuff.
But if you have Galamsey machines, you want to take it to Volta region, you think you cross the Sogakope water and the machine will still be functional? That's joke. Go and carry the machine. Yeah, you have Galamsey machine. You want to cross Sogakope River and go and the lake.
So I think we should reward again the regions and areas that are producing this sweet, unpolluted food.
By the time you get to Sope, your machine will not function.